Hi, my name is Nomalanga Mhlauli-Moses with SuccessfulBlackWoman.com and HealthyBlackWoman.com. And I'm here with my good friend Shaquita Graham from LovingTheBlackMan.com and Ateco.com. How are you doing today, Shaquita?
I'm doing good. I'm just kind of stuck on this
on our topic for today. Okay, well, let's jump right in. So this is something that we both saw floating on our timelines on Facebook. There's a picture or a photo of a woman with her kids, and she appears to be almost naked. All she has on is what looks like her underwear, a bra, and some panties. Gorgeous black woman, but it looks like a family portrait. She's standing in front, and her kids are fully dressed, and they're behind her. It looks like she has 4 kids. And the caption for the person who shared it is he quoted Jason Black, who I'm told is a radio personality. Is that right, Shaquita?
He has a broadcast.
Okay. So the caption says, "So this is how you take a family portrait now? We've had so many generations raised by mama being a hoe. Now that this kind of incestuous behavior around your kids is normal to them now. No wonder there's no man in the picture." And then, of course, he cites Jason Black as the person who wrote that. So what are your thoughts, Shaquita? You saw the image and you saw the caption.
Right. So the caption, of course, and I just want to let people know Jason Black is also the director of the movie 7 a.m. And he has I think a weekly broadcast at the Black Authority or the Black Channel. So when I saw this, it just kind of made me think about all the men that I hear saying that, number one, they want to see authentic black women and they want to see modest black women. And they seem to just keep running into this theme where black women feel like it's a positive image to be so sexual, so overtly sexual, and to do so even if men are saying this is not what they want. So it's like the music videos and the media are heavily influencing women to think that what they see there, the video vixens, the reality show women and all of this is acceptable and what men want. But men eventually, they are going to want to build a legacy with a woman who can have their children that they can build with. And this image is totally against that, is what I'm hearing. And I'm not trying to, come against black women. I'm just going to give my trolls a disclaimer. I'm not trying to say I'm the perfect black woman. And when I was young, I've made my share of mistakes. So let me just end there. What did you think? What did you think, Noma? What did you think?
Well, I have 3 things. The first one is I did have the same question as Black, in that, where's the dad? That's stuck out to me, that this is a family portrait and front and center is mom and her little babies in the back, but there's no dad. So that always bothers me, because I do feel like in this country, in this society, it seems like there's a social engineering in the black community to remove black men, to remove fathers from homes, whether it's done through the media or actual things like the mass incarceration, the killing. All of those things to me are very troubling. So that's one of the things that stuck out to me. Then the second thing is I was aware that this is a gorgeous black woman. She is beautiful.
She is.
But then the second part of that, noticing that she's gorgeous, she's beautiful, is recognizing appropriate versus inappropriate. Okay? I'm mindful of the fact that, I have paraded around in a bathing suit because I used to compete in pageants. And even as a married woman, I have entered a married woman's pageant, which required me to walk on a stage with hundreds or thousands of people watching. And I was wearing a bathing suit. And I remember my husband said that, one or two people did whisper to him, like, wait, you let her do that? Kind of thing. You let your wife, and his answer is typically, my wife is an adult and she can do what she wants. But, so I'm mindful of the fact that sometimes there's appropriateness and inappropriateness. I think that if you're at the beach or in a pageant, showing your body is not as problematic as taking a family portrait with your kids behind you and then it going viral on social media. There's just a distinction that you need to make between what's appropriate and what's not. I know in another video where we're talking about Serena Williams twerking, we talked about the appropriateness of it, and I said, and I think you mentioned that, a respectable man doesn't necessarily want a twerking woman. And I said, he does, just not out on the street, maybe behind closed doors. And I think this is the same thing. I just want to, recognize that this is a gorgeous woman. She's beautiful. She's got beautiful skin, and I'm not downing on her. I just think that, she's just displaying it not in an appropriate way. Then the last thing is, I always want to address this. I saw this on somebody's feed, and what I've come to realize about the feed of this man is that it sometimes has some misogynistic undertones. Even the caption on this is, calling her a hoe and all this other stuff. He doesn't care about her. He's just putting her there, and saying horrible things about her, and it's not coming from a loving and caring place. So the minute that you have all that hate and negativity going towards a woman, a black woman, and you're a black man, I have a problem with that. I don't agree with what she's doing, absolutely, but I don't think that it's okay for a black man to constantly have a message on his page of look at these hoes, look at these heifers, look at these bastard factories, look at this, look at that. I don't agree with that. I think that if you love somebody, there's a different way of calling attention to what they're doing as not being right without demeaning them and trying to make it seem like there's nothing about them that's redeemable.
Sure. So there's a lot to unpack there. Like we said before, even in the Serena video, it's not so much about just the individual as it is about a culture that we see forming in the entire community. So I just don't think that women understand, and even as a young woman, I had to come to understand what it is that black men want in a woman and need. What do I need to be a family woman and to be a positive influence in my community? And I think that when we have these types of situations that open up these topics, it brings into discussion, okay, what are we trying to do? Because we understand that our community, yes, has been is a product of social engineering right now. So we have a lot of families that don't have a father because of mass incarceration, the false drug war, police brutality, economic deprivation. All of this was intentionally waged upon our community. So now we have a situation. How do we rebuild? It's going to start with the man and the woman, the black man and the black woman coming together and being able to have a family life and build up children who can take us to the next level and the next generation. And these behaviors are thwarting that. In regards to some of the things that people have to say about women like this, I personally think that you get more bees with honey. I have Loving the Black Man, and I choose to use that platform as a way to uplift black men. That's my way of doing it. But I kind of think we need all opinions and we need all facets, because like when I was younger, my dad would address me one way and my mother would address me another way. And I think that, sometimes we have those people who are going to be hard on you. And then you have those people who are going to give you that kind of a loving nudge. I'm more of that type of person, and I really agree with that. But even with my children, sometimes I have to go to another place with them because the loving nudge is not moving them there. So from a certain perspective, I understand that, because when you're talking about an entire community, a lot of times people are just not getting it. People are so comatose and being led like sheep that they don't hear it until it gets really offensive and abrasive. So I think we need all of those voices sometimes.
Okay, so you're saying that sometimes we do need that tough love.
I mean, I don't know if I want to call it tough love, but like if you're in the Army, and people consider the scenario that we are in the Black community, surrounded by institutions that seem like they have been out for our genocide for centuries, that we're in a warlike environment. And at those times, you need a general to say, they're going to use some expletives. They're going to use some terms to get you out of your comfort zone, to wake you from your sleep and make you understand the urgency of what's going on. Now, do I advocate women being called bees and hoes? And I mean, I'm just not on that, but that's not my place. Maybe it's somebody else's place to go to that level with people. Because, when you go into the Black community where you say these people they're using this type of language. They're using this type of conversation. And there's been times when I talk to people, certain people that I know, I have a certain conversation with them. Other people that I know, I have a different type of conversation with them, because I talk to them in a way that they can understand and that moves them.
Right. I wanted to weigh in on, you said a number of times that this kind of behavior or this kind of woman is not what a respectable man wants. You even just said this is not what a man wants, at least not in the long term, at least not to build a family, at least not to stay with that woman for the rest or attach his life to hers forever.
Well, and this is what I'm hearing. This is what I'm hearing men say.
It's right. So the thing that I come across a lot, unfortunately, is you get a lot of women who said I wanted to be married anyway. So, and you would be surprised because I get that a lot. Look, not everybody wants this whole fairy tale that you have in your head, about, riding off into the sunset with your prince. I don't want to get married. I don't want a man, at least not to tie my life to forever in marriage. What's the answer there? I don't know. I'm not saying I have the answer, but it's hard to tell a person who says they don't want that anyway, to turn around and say to them that if you want to be taken seriously as a woman who is respectable, she's a wife, she's a mother, and so forth, this behavior doesn't correlate with that. So the behavior has to go away. And she says, well, I don't even want that anyway. So what now?
Well, I mean, I could comment on that because I've been there, like in my late teens and early 20s. I definitely didn't want to get married. And I think that came from my immature mindset about where my place was in my community. I did not understand my obligation and what a Black nation was about and my place in it. Nobody brought me up explaining that to me, even though I came from a two-family household, two-parent household of working class individuals. But again, our community has been destabilized intentionally by these forces. So our young people don't have a sense of purpose and allegiance to a common goal for the Black community. And that's where I felt like I had that type of mentality, because I didn't see the Black man as my champion, my leader. I didn't see the importance of me leaving a legacy with our children and the next generation. I just felt like I was just out here. So I think that a lot of women feel that way. And that is sometimes where I do feel like, okay, if you're using abrasive tones towards women, I feel bad for them, because when I was younger, I know that, you know, you probably would have classified me in those same ways. But at the same time, I did have people in my life who, you know, were harder on me, and it just woke me up, because you get hard-headed in your rebellious ways, and you really need somebody to sit down and say, look, you're acting like a straight hoe right now. You know, sometimes people understand that, like that, they understand that.
So I think that we have to think about the bigger picture, and that's one of the things that I always love hearing you talk about, is that we have to look at things, long range, big picture. And I do agree, in terms of, going back to this image, we don't want that. It's terrible if you look at the big picture. First of all, it's so screaming, eliminate or invalidate or ignore or pretend like he doesn't exist, the black man. He's just nowhere to be found. And there's those two little boys. I think there's two little boys in that picture. What's happening to them in that household? I have to ask myself, what's happening to them in that household when they see this going on, and this is what their mother's projecting as womanhood. And then also the little girls, what kind of role model is their mother? I have to question that. But I think I'm with you in the sense that there are many approaches that we can take to saying this is not okay. I'm not as soft and gentle maybe as you are, but I'm certainly not as harsh as the people who belittle and berate and call people out of their names. I do think that if we're going to do anything positive, we do have to have some firm, we do have to take a firm stance. So my stance on the picture is no, that's not okay. Gorgeous woman, I keep saying that, beautiful kids, but no. The answer is no.
But is she beautiful inside? That's
also another question. Right.
We have a lot of emphasis in our community on women being beautiful on the outside, and you got Brazilian hair down that you brought down to your butt, but on the inside, and if we were to live with you, what is your attitude like? What kind of person are you? And I think that's not being promoted enough in our community. Sorry to cut you off.
Oh, no, that's absolutely valid. I can only say she's beautiful on the outside, but at the very least, I don't know if she's beautiful on the inside. However, I would say she's at the very least misguided. Okay. This is, again, one of those topics that we could go on and on with, so maybe we'll revisit it. I am interested to hear what, the Your Black World and the Your Black Women community has to say. Please jump into the comments and let us know what you think. My name is Nomalanga, Mhlauli-Moses with Healthy Black Woman and Successful Black Woman. This is my good friend Shaquita Graham with Loving the Black Man. And for those of you who know us and have heard our segments, I have a little baby, and this is our call to end our segment because he's he's calling for his mother. I just want to say thank you, Shaquita, for a great conversation once again, and thank you to our viewers.
Thank you, Nova. Goodbye.
Thanks. Bye.